Hello, I'm Michael Smolens, and this year marks my 40th year teaching. I'm responding to a number of people's requests for me to do some short video tutorials about being at the piano. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to best set yourself up for success at the piano, and it all begins with your practice environment. Both the piano and the modern digital keyboard have their places. In fact, I use both for practicing, composing, and performing. Although most people I work with prefer a real piano, many opt for an electronic one for a number of reasons. It's less expensive, smaller, more portable, never goes out of tune, and has many more sounds to choose from, and is able to connect with other electronic media, just to name a few. But I feel the real reason that most people decide on a digital keyboard is all about privacy. On the other hand, most of the time the piano is in a big public space with no doors or privacy. Big mistake. Practicing any instrument is a private, vulnerable affair. If you live alone, or with someone who you're absolutely comfortable with, you're among the fortunate. Most people who study with me are sharing space in a family, roommate, apartment, or dorm situation where the piano is just out in the open. Best to try to put it in a room with a door that shuts. And if that's not possible, surround at least part of the piano with a folding shoji screen made of rice paper or cloth that can help to create some degree of privacy. Negotiating times when the space is empty can also be very helpful. Lastly, if you find the issue of privacy to be unworkable at home, consider renting some space at a school, music store, church, or family or friend's house that has a decent piano. There's also the possibility of spending part of your time practicing on a good digital piano with headphones. So, let's now begin by getting you set up to be very comfortable at the piano. The most important thing that you're going to need to be comfortable at the piano is a bench that works. The standard piano bench that comes with most pianos is about 2 to 4 or 5 inches too short for most people. If you're 6 feet tall and very long arms, I'm sure that would work, but most of the people that I see and work with don't. So, I recommend this bench, and it's called the Extreme 1200. It can be ordered online or gotten at Guitar Center. It's very comfortable. In fact, I've gone through 4 or 5 hour gigs, and this has literally saved my butt. Another item that really helps to adjust this bench even further would be one of these. It's a carpet sample that you can get at most big hardware stores or carpet stores, and it allows you to make finer adjustments than what's possible with this bench. I also noticed that when students work with me in the first 3 or 4 months, that they go through changes. Their shoulders begin to relax, and so their height actually changes. So all the more reason to have 2 or 3 of these carpet samples so you can adjust to what's happening in your body. A third important item is what the bench is resting on, and that is some of these blocks. This is something that one of my students suggested about a decade ago, and I'm interminably grateful to him. We're going to show up on the screen in a little bit the exact dimensions of it, but what it does is allow you to have your weight forward by tipping the bench forward. And you know, the game is all about accessing the weight of your arm, so you're not just playing with your fingers. You're not going to get any kind of dynamic control or speed if you're just playing here with your fingers. It's all about accessing the weight of the arm through the shape of the hand, and then finally executing with the fingers. So I have several of these lifts, not only for here, but when I do gigs. In my gig bag, I have a second set of lifts. The last thing that's very helpful for getting comfortable at the piano would be something for your feet if you are short. I had a student recently who was he's a very conscientious practicer, but he was saying, you know, I'm about 15 minutes in, I'm really sore in my leg, and I'm just wondering what's going on. And so I eventually went to his apartment and looked at his situation and saw that he had the same keyboard that I have, well, one of my keyboards. It's a big Yamaha CP300. And because of how big it is, it's about 3 inches taller than most pianos. And so I saw that his legs were just extended too far and he was getting into all sorts of problems. So what I did, was I suggested that he take 2 white pages, see, they're still good for something, right? And put them under his feet. Wasn't a huge adjustment, but as soon as he did that, he shined this glowing smile that said, "My life is going to change." And it did, all because he got a couple inches lift with his feet. So these are the basics for just getting yourself physically set up. An intelligent bench, carpet sampler 2, lifts for the bench, and if you're still uncomfortable, or if you are a youngster and need more height, then phone books. When I work with youngsters, sometimes I will put as many as 2 or 3 white pages for each leg so that they can feel grounded. No matter how short someone is, their feet have to always be flat on the ground so that they can be grounded. An important thing for playing the piano and being comfortable is having good light. If you have a grand piano like this, then there's space for you to have 2 lights on either side. I recommend some lights that are used in the audiovisual industry. It's called lit light, and you'll see a reference to that at the end of our little talk. It's halogen, so it's great on the eyes, and as you can see, it's fully adjustable. And there's a knob here to adjust how bright it is. If you have a vertical piano or non-grand, that means a little spinet or console or upright, I recommend just having a single halogen light that's got an arm that swings right down the center. That'll be really comfortable. In my next video, Getting Comfortable at a Gig, I'll be talking about how to get your lighting together if you're playing a keyboard. Next is about paper. Now you're going to be jotting down ideas, maybe some original music, vamps that inspire you. So here's a quick overview of the kind of paper that's useful. This is 8.5 by 11, and it's got 8 sets of lines. Any more than 8 sets is going to be not fun to use. If you're working with words, like chords, melody, and words, I recommend what's called oversized 8 staff, and you can even fit 2 sets of words, 2 verses with that. Maybe you're just got chords and melodies, no words, then I recommend oversized 10 staff. And all these can be got from the company called Archive. If you're just dealing with single line music and no chords, nothing fancy, then oversized 12 can be very helpful. So to close on this, I'm just going to show you what it's like to make full advantage of an oversized 8 staff. This is a spiritual that I've arranged, and as you can see, I have lots of chords over each line, the melody, and 2 sets of words. The only way you can do that is with oversized 8 staff paper. I also extended each line, each set of lines on each side to create maximum space, because it's 4-bar music and I want to see it in 4 bars. So I hope that's been helpful in terms of you getting set up physically at the piano. Thanks, and I'm Michael Smolens.